Things like this usually don't happen in a community like ours. It's very tragic.
Investigators release autopsy reports today for 8 members of an Ohio family killed execution style.
We begin tonight with a deadline that has passed for the mother of 2 missing children from Rexburg.
Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and on this channel we talk about all things true crime related. Today's video, which is my second video today, I just completed the updates one. I'm trying to get more out as quickly as I can. I'm able to research a lot, but it's the actual recording. Last week was spring break. We've also had the state of Arizona versus Lori Vallow Daybell, which I have been watching. So happy that Charles got justice. He really tried to tell everybody, just nobody was listening. Anyways, in today's video, I have 2 cases which have been in the news lately, and I just wanted to bring them to you guys. I often try to bring cases that not everyone is reporting on or that you haven't heard. A few things I have to mention, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and that everyone that I discuss is innocent until proven guilty. Please go do your own research, come to your own conclusions. I am not anybody who is an expert in anything. I just enjoy researching cases and bringing you the details. So please feel free to comment below if I'm missing something or if I got something incorrect. We're here for the facts and to learn what we can about these people. This case is actually out of the same area that Michelle Miller is, with the same DA conducting the press conference that was held. It seems like the press conference, including this with Michelle Miller, is mostly the information we have in both cases out of Massachusetts. I do have some tidbits of information in the case, but a lot of it seems hush-hush until the trial. But we will see as these cases go through the court system what we learn. Now, the first case we're going to talk about is Charline Rosemond. I looked into this case prior to this most recent update, like previously, and it was on my list of unsolveds to possibly cover in the future. She was 23 years old in 2009, where she was living with her family in Everett, Massachusetts, while she was working at a car dealership in Brighton. She left her home around 7 a.m. and headed to work using her father's car. She was on the hunt for her own car, but until she found her own, she was using her father's. It was more of like a family car, from my understanding. Now, her family was really tight-knit, and they were immediately worried when she didn't come home on the morning of April 7th. So on April 8th, they reported her missing. They knew that she was supposed to be home. This was not like her. She was supposed to be back with a car. This was all wrong. Unfortunately, 6 days later, on April 13th, her father's car was found in Union Square, Massachusetts, with her slumped over in the front seat, dead from a gunshot wound in the back of her head. It went right through the headrest from the back seat. Those closest to her were interviewed and few details would be released. We found that she stopped responding to those closest to her around 9:15 on the night of April 7th. We also learned that she was looking to purchase a car. She had actually taken $4,100 for the purchase just days before she was killed. This money was not with her when she was found, leading police to believe that the motive for her death was robbery. This case would end up going unsolved for 16 years until recently. On April 10th, the Middlesex DA would do a press conference providing updates. I just want to lay out the real quick and dirty of what was said. She probably said it longer and thanked a lot of people. But 38-year-old Heinsky Anacreon was charged on M charges after a lengthy grand jury investigation that identified witnesses who had revealed that 2 men in this case lied to police during the investigation, him being one of them. He was also charged with attempting to willfully mislead a police officer and attempting to willfully mislead an attorney for obstructing justice during negotiations between the prosecution and the defense, which is interesting. I really never heard about someone being charged in that process. The district attorney would detail how Charlene's friend, Roberto June, which was one of her closest friends according to the DA, would lure her to a parking lot with a ruse that he was able to get a good deal on a car that she was looking for. Remember, she was looking to buy a car. The DA would say that Roberto told her that he was able to get a deal on a 2001 Lexus GS 300, but she had to pay in cash to get this good price. Heinsky would play the role of the contact that was able to get this good deal. He actually worked at a car dealership off of the books at this time, which gave him access to this car. Police were able to confirm with his employer that Heinsky told him he was showing the 2001 Lexus to someone who he intended to sell it to in April of 2009. Witnesses also confirmed seeing him drive around in the car around the same time as her death. Now, When she was killed, Roberto's DNA was found on the passenger side handle of Charlene's father's car, but this really wasn't surprising to anyone because they were known to be friends and he was known to be in the car. It was a shared car, so this was something that they just were not able to use to go any further with. Both men were interviewed at the time of her death and both denied having any knowledge or involvement with it. In 2009, Roberto's home was searched by police where they found 2 gun cases and latex gloves and an empty bottle of champagne. According to the DA, he did not have a license for a weapon, and he did not work in any type of medical career, so there's no immediate reason to have both of these things. Now we'll get to the champagne bottle in a little bit. Detectives also learned that Charlene's death, Heinsky would admit to a close confidant that he provided the .44 Magnum used in the crime and that he actually got rid of it after by throwing it into a body of water. Unfortunately, any searches for this weapon have been unsuccessful. It was also told to the police by the informant that the 2 men, after they had robbed and killed her, they shared a bottle of champagne, which was the bottle of champagne that they photographed in 2009. Now, from what I get, this came out more recently, the details about the celebratory bottle of champagne, so police were able to review evidence and see that while they conducted a search warrant on Roberto's house, that bottle of champagne was actually there on the shelf. During a formal interview with Heinsky back in May of 2024, he falsely claimed that Roberto had admitted to him that he was the one who had killed Charline and that he had no involvement, that him himself, Heinsky, had no involvement or knowledge of Roberto's plan prior to it happening. But of course, evidence that police had found would prove this to be false. You can't change the narrative when there's evidence. Roberto ended up dying of natural causes in July of 2024, so of course he will not be facing justice in this case. And as of right now, Heinsky has not been arraigned, but I'm sure he will. He'll start going through the process, and as more comes out, I will definitely let you know. I love when a good cold case gets solved. However, it does make me nervous that both this one and the other one, I have seen multiple people say in the other one that Edward Watson, I don't know if Edward Watson, one person had said Edward Watson was innocent, and then in the first video that I made of Michelle Miller, we learned that their son did not believe that their father was involved, even though the DA said. So we'll have to see how this plays out. I'm very interested in both of these cases, especially because they're brought forward by the same people. I love to see a DA who's cracking down on crime as long as it's good. So we'll see how they play out. Now we're going to shift to an older case that police are asking some help for, Laurie Krage. So this case is out of Wilkinson, Washington, and it occurred back in October 13th, 1997. A mushroom picker stumbled upon skeletal remains while they were working through the woods, about 9.5 miles away from any major city or town. So it doesn't seem like someone would be there just for no reason, except I guess the mushroom picker was. But the remains were determined to be that of a woman who was thought to be 5'5" and between the ages of 20 and 50 years old. She was found wearing a dark blue long sleeve sweatshirt from the Pacific Lutheran University School, size 7 Union Bay blue jeans, and white Reebok tennis shoes with yellow and green trim in a size 4.5. Unfortunately, at the time, they were not able to identify her, and she became known as the Pierce County Jane Doe. In 2009, the case was listed in the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, NamUs. Then, more recently, in October of 2023, the Pierce County Sheriff's Office sent forensic evidence to Othram Labs, good old Othram, to help identify the victim, and scientists were able to build a comprehensive profile. Investigators reported obtaining DNA samples from potential relatives and compared them to the victim's profile, and as a result of that, Othram was able to release on April 8th that the Pierce County Jane Doe is actually Laurie Krage, born December 17th, 1959. This would make her about 36 years old in 1997, although police, now we know that they believe she passed away in 1996, so she could have been 34, 35, 36, around there. Police have ruled her death as a homicide.
Enough evidence to show from the remains it was not a natural cause of death.
And really, that's all that we know about Laurie. She wasn't even reported missing, so detectives aren't exactly sure when she passed away. She was last known to be alive in January of 1996. According to police, she was known to, move around a lot. She actually got married to Ronald Martin, who passed away, I guess, from natural causes in 2020, so they aren't able to ask him any questions now after they've identified him. However, there are some questions about why she was never reported missing. Like I said, detectives said that she moved around a lot, and I'm sure that is what caused people to lose touch.
Now that we've determined that this is in fact Laurie, we are starting from the ground up on a homicide investigation.
Police are asking for the public's health. They are asking for anyone who may have any information on Laurie or even her husband, Ronald A. Martin, especially from the years of 1995 to 1997, that they want to speak to you, to come forward, reach out to them, and discuss anything you know. Deputies said that Laurie was known to travel in all parts of Pierce County, to include Lakewood, Kent, and Emerald Queen area. However, her remains were found in a spot that she was not known to frequent. Now, any information in this case can be submitted to Crime Stoppers by calling 1-800-222-TIPS or visiting tpcrimestoppers.com. Now, while I was researching this case, I saw that Fox 13 Seattle News questions the deputies, if Laurie could have been a victim of Gary Ridgway. They said, well, it's possible, it's uncertain. Now, if you don't know who Gary Ridgway is, which I find that hard to believe, he is one of the United States' most notorious serial killers. He claims he has killed up to 80 women, but has only been convicted of 49 of those, with the most recent being in 2011 after one of the victims' remains have been found. So he's convicted of 48 at one time. I believe it was like in 2003, and then one more was found after, and he was convicted of that in 2011. It does appear that his first victim was found in July of 1982, and he wasn't arrested until 2001. So this is obviously during the time period that she went missing. Even though he was a suspect from the beginning, he passed a polygraph test in 1985 where he denied involvement. This is why obviously polygraph tests worthless. But allegedly, he only had 3 victims that he took the life of after he married his third wife in 1988. According to him or something, I guess he was like literally in a happy marriage, so I guess that helped, and he only took 3 people's lives according to him. We don't really know, obviously, but I will keep you updated how that plays out. It seems very weird that her husband, unless they split up by that time, did not report her missing. I wasn't able to find anything about it in newspapers.com. That's really where I like to go. So if you or anyone you know anything about this, please feel free to send it to me about this case. I did see a notice of engagement or marriage on March 17th, 1995 for Robert A. Martin and Laurie Krage, both of Tacoma. And it does look like at some point later in like 1985-ish, someone related to her passed away, where she was listed as being married to a Thomas Krage. We'll see how that turns out. Hopefully they're able to obtain some information from reaching out to the public, but I will let you guys know. That is all I have for this episode. Please make sure, like I said before, to like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. I really do. There are ways to support the channel in the comments, like buy me a coffee and things like that, my sources, and ways to reach out to me if there's any cases you want me to cover, or like I said, if I've missed anything or got anything wrong, please feel free to reach out to me. And until next time, stay safe out there. The world is an ugly place.